Here we go. Oh my goodness. Hey everyone, Rivian time again. Recently we just test drove the Rivian R1T, their pickup truck, all electric, and now we have the R1S, which is their 3-row all-electric SUV. I put out an Instagram poll seeing which one people would prefer, and the winner was the R1S. So here we have it. Both vehicles are based on the same platform. Obviously, this one does not have a truck bed. It has 3 rows instead, but the wheelbase is actually shorter on the R1S by about 14 inches, and the entire length of the vehicle is actually shorter by about 16 inches. So believe it or not, this is actually a smaller vehicle than the truck. Similar things though. We have that signature front end that we saw on the truck. And you know what, after 2 weeks of driving this, I'm kind of getting used to it. It's kind of growing on me a little bit. Still think that these lights, these vertical lights, kind of have a cartoonish face to it to me. I don't know. This does have the off-road package, so you do get those nice satin finish recovery hooks, and you do have that front with 11 cubic feet of space. We can place lots of things in here. Just like the R1T, you have 11 cubic feet of space. I love the little details. You have the netting here to keep things from flying around. Also, this shelf, you fold it once, fold it twice, it's magnetically held. Right there, you have a deeper storage. You can put your charger there. You can put your grocery bags or whatever you want. You want to hide that away, just put that there. Coming around to the side, since this is the off-road version, we do have the 20-inch wheels with the all-terrain tires on this particular trim here. We have 11 cameras all around the vehicle, just like the R1T. The recessed door handles that suck themselves in for better aerodynamics. Just like the R1T, you do have the special torch embedded in the door itself. It recharges in there. It is extremely bright, as you can see here. And yeah, this is an actual cell from the battery. So instead of 70,776 cells, with this extra one, you have 7777. That's it. Here is where it gets a little bit more different. You have this really nice, once again, the satin trim that goes and frames the roof area. This rear door is definitely a different shape than the truck. That one actually is cut out a little bit more, and you have a more squared off window. These windows roll all the way down, just like the R1T, so that's really good if you have kids that like to roll the window all the way down. It's not the halfway. And of course, behind this window is where the 3rd row is, which we're gonna take a look at in a second. Okay, we don't have a truck bed on the R1S. Of course, this is the SUV. We have a very flat rear design here. It's very simple. You have that same wraparound and just straight horizontal light bar that you see on the R1T as well. You do have a wiper on here. You don't get the wiper on the truck, which is not really needed because the truck window is so far back, but this one is right at the back here. You have the R1S badging. Now, Rivian has really thought of a lot of things. There's one thing I wish they did have though, this does not have hands-free opening. So there's no kick feature or no smart trunk. You can open it with the great carabiner key fob with your phone. You can do it through the screen, or you see the V where the Rivian is, you use that as an arrow and you just push there, and there's a little rubber piece here. We hit that there, and this has a clamshell design. You have a tailgate. Even though this isn't the pickup truck, you still get a tailgate here, which is really nice. Sometimes it's good for, you know, putting your boots on if you're snowboarding. This doesn't have the gear tunnel, unfortunately, like the R1T, but you do get a lot of room here. So you can see we have our travel trunk here. Let me just get out here and show you. We have our travel trunk. That fits right behind the 3rd row. Right there, and you do get some nice tie down, really high quality hooks here. So you can make your IKEA trip nice and secure. Below the floor, right here, we have a tray. We have our first aid kit, Plus we have our compressor hoses and things, because we do, just like the R1T, we do get a built-in compressor as well as a 120 volt, 1500 watt plug right there. So that's going to power all of your goodies. The wind is blowing everything away. Now underneath this tray though, you'll see there is a spare tire on here. The spare tire is an option. You have to purchase that separately, but if you don't choose to get a spare tire, maybe you think the all-terrain tires are good enough, they have nice big high sidewalls, well, you can omit that and have more room. You have a really nice tub there for storage. Need more room? You can fold that third row down just with a little switch there. It automatically folds the headrest like that. Now if we want to fold the second row down as well to have maximum space, we do have remotes for those. So just a quick little flick there, and now look how much room you have now. There is a little lip between the second and third row. If you want to even that out a little bit more, you can lift the floor up. There's a little ledge here and put that so it's more of a gradual ramp up to that second flat area. There you go, there's a lot of room here. You can see for yourself. You do have this large panel roof, same as the R1T, but now you have an additional roof over the third row passengers as well. Let's check out inside, come on. We have our special guest, Cynthia, in the house. She has had some experience driving the R1S, so we're gonna ask her opinion on it as well. Now, in case you haven't watched our R1T review, make sure to hit the link in the video description, because a lot of things we're just going to kind of breeze through, because we've really covered all of it on the R1T. For instance, the interior is essentially identical. So here's just a little bit of a quick recap that, you know, what I found for the R1T, blown away, exceeded my expectations for the fit, the finish, just how fancy and how well put together the interior is for a pickup truck or for an activity vehicle like this. The seats, the vegan leather, the brushed satin finish. You know, we have about 6 or 7 minutes of just going through the 16-inch infotainment screen on that. So make sure to check that out. But here's the little recap is, you do not get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto on this, but you do get cool things like Gear Guard, which is a security camera system. It holds it for 11 days, or you can download it. You have a big, huge screen for your cameras, for your backup camera, your surround view camera, left and right wheels. I really like that, and it works at any speed. One thing that I do wish though, it does not work or it doesn't activate, it doesn't come on by itself if you actually get close to like a curb or something like that, where a lot of other vehicles do that. But yeah, really comfortable interior. You do get that Bluetooth speaker that we have on the R1T and on the R1S. So make sure to watch that video. But we're talking about the drive, right? Mm-hmm. So we have different drive modes. You know, we can even go into sport. It's going to lower because we have air suspension. And you know what? This is a quad motor. Are you ready, Cynthia?
I think so.
Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Well, I haven't actually experienced this myself. That's a lot of torque.
0 to 60 in 3 seconds. This is a quad motor with 835 horsepower and over 900 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, that was from a standing start. You know, you have power going to all 4 wheels individually. For off-road use, it's perfect for that because you can rock crawl. Yeah, but if you don't need that much power, you do have 2 other options. You have a dual motor performance and a dual motor, and those are still quick. The dual motor performance is 3.5 seconds, 0 to 60. It has 700 horsepower, and the base dual motor is 4.5 seconds, and it still has 600 horsepower. So even the base model is more than enough, more than what anyone could possibly need, really. Now, range-wise, there are 3 battery options on the R1S. There is the standard, there's the large, and the max. if you go for the quad motor that we have here, you can only get it with the large battery, and you still get a lot of range. It all depends on what wheel size you go and what type of tires you have. So if you go for the street tires, you can get up to about 520 kilometers or so. And if you go into like the off-road tires that we have here, it brings it down to about 465. If you want the max range, if you go into the dual motor with the max battery, you're talking 644 kilometers of maximum range. Once again, it's going to depend what kind of wheels you have and what kind of drive you have, but still a huge amount of range, a massive battery. I really did want to see what the real life range was, so we did a little bit of a range test. It's raining outside. We've charged it to 100%. I have reset the trip meters at 0. And at full charge, we're looking at around 445 kilometers. That's in all-purpose mode, by the way. I can go into conserve. That's going to give us close to 500. And if you go into the different packages with different wheels, if you don't have the all-terrain wheels, you're going to get even more. But in this test, we're just going to all-purpose. Let's see how many K that we can get and what the percentage is going to be at the end of the day. All right, update after a long day of driving. We, first of all, had 6 people in here. That's quite the feat. Plus my mom, who is in a wheelchair, so we actually had to go and lift her in, and we actually put the wheelchair in the back. It actually fit, which was amazing. We drove just over 210 kilometers of driving, mixed city and highway driving. I do have to admit, there was a time where we were in traffic and I did put it into conserve mode, because you know what? All it's doing is just making it a front wheel drive vehicle. If you put your foot down on it, you're not going to get 800 horses off of it, but you'll maintain, highway speeds no problem. And it's a dry day out, so I figured why not, just to check it out. And it didn't even affect the climate control whatsoever. So yeah, if you want to get the most range and you're in a situation like that, I would recommend, try that conserve mode out. But otherwise, a lot of times we were in either just normal or sport mode. Our range right now, based on all purpose, 198 kilometers and 44% left. All right, Cynthia, weren't you impressed that we actually got 6 full-size adults and a wheelchair and all the other stuff that we carried in this vehicle?
Unbelievable. That's a lot of space.
Yeah, and you know what? We weren't too far off of what the actual computer was telling us for range. So yeah, pretty decent. And once again, this is the quad motor. This is an 835 horsepower vehicle. So yeah, I'm impressed. One thing that I did notice though, driving with that many people, all that weight, this does have the air suspension, is I found that it was a little bit bouncy though. It was, so sometimes I actually put it into stiff mode for the suspension, and it seemed like it kind of reduced the amount of bounce that it was. So yeah, you can't get it without air suspension though, by the way. But the air suspension is good because if you take it off-road or for snow, you can go all the way up to 38 centimeters, or you can slam it right down. With these big, huge all-terrain tires, it's still quite high though. So it was a little bit hard to get my mom in and out. So Cynthia, what is your thoughts on the R1S driving it?
Driving it, first when I know that's a one pedal drive, I was like, oh no, I would never get used to that drive. The first time I drove it, it was quite a bit jerky. I guess it's just the muscle memory from driving all the standard brakes, right? But because this one does not come with the option, and that's the only way you can drive. Couple days, totally got used to it. Actually, I can now saying that I understand one pedal drive more, I enjoy it more, and I still have a hard time once at a lower speed though, but overall I actually enjoying it now.
Yeah, I would. I'm still tossed. For the people that don't really like it, I would like to see an option. I mentioned this in the R1T review to actually turn that one pedal drive off. And I know there may be some talks going on about it, but at this point, that's all you get. Even if there was a creep function where, when you take your foot off the brake, that it would roll forward, or roll backwards. It's just kind of odd. Like even coming down our driveway, if we're backing out of our driveway, instead of just putting in reverse and just rolling down, you actually have to use a throttle and power down the driveway. And then as soon as you let off, there's that a huge amount of regen. And yeah, I'd rather have my foot over the brake, so in case something was to come, I'm actually already over the brake. With one pedal driving, you are on the pedal and you still have to take it off and then go onto the brake. So it's one extra step. It's not a big thing, but we're talking milliseconds. It can make a difference. And yeah, I do wish that they could give us an option to turn it off. That's it.
I don't know. If you gave me that option, I've never tried that swivel drive.
True. Another thing though, I kind of get it. This vehicle is basically 6,000 pounds. It is not a light vehicle. So you do need a lot of brakes to slow something this heavy down and this large. So I see how regen really plays a part in it. Not only does it save your brakes, but you don't need as a robust of a system to actually do all your braking for you. With the third row of passengers that you can carry in here, Cynthia, you tried it back there. What'd you think?
The third row?
Yeah.
Third row, quite spacious actually, legroom-wise, and the headroom's plenty. The only thing to me is it's a little bit low. Like my knees are really bending, for long drive, it might be.
Yeah, well, we drove all day, someone was in the back there, so it wasn't too bad. They didn't complain. The biggest factor though is that there is so much room underneath the second row for the third row passengers' feet to go under. So you get a lot of leg room that way. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's definitely much better in this class of vehicle. There really is only like one right now for a 3-row electric SUV, and that is the Tesla Model X. And our neighbor actually has one of those, and you can't beat this, for the amount of room there is in that third row as well. When you actually put that third row down, you do have more room. And it makes a big difference, especially for him. He's considering getting one of these and getting rid of the Model X because he has a large dog, and this is perfect it's an activity vehicle. Whether you're camping, you have pets, you want to put something on the roof, you got it all with this R1S. You just don't get the gear tunnel though, unfortunately. The girls love the gear tunnel. All right, so our final thoughts. This is gonna really mirror what we said on the R1T. You know what? Rivian has done an exceptional job on their first vehicle, essentially the R1T and the R1S. But remember, this is their flagship vehicle. This is not a budget vehicle. The R1T is not a run-around small pickup truck. It's a premium product, and you're gonna pay a premium price for it. This one, it goes for over $125,000. But if you look what it compares to, you're actually getting quite a bit of value for this. There really, as mentioned, there's really not a lot of competition in the 3-row EV market. This and the Model X, and this comes in less money, and to me, that would be a hands down, for sure I'd get this R1S over a Model X any day, just for the style. I love the exterior style, I love the interior style, and that's one thing that people have really said. It's been so popular in the driveway. Everywhere we stop, everyone's asking about this vehicle, and yeah, and they're just blown away. They're like, I've never seen one in real life, and they always say, this looks way better than we could ever expect. Just when you touch and feel and everything else, it's just really well done. So Cynthia, final thoughts?
Overall, I'm very impressed with the flexibility and the capability it gets from this vehicle. It can easily fit into your everyday drive, and also if you need to take it off-road.
Yeah, it's so easy to drive. You wouldn't think it would be with 835 horsepower, but they've just really tuned it that way. You don't get that power until you put your foot right to the floor, so it's really nice. But yeah, I kind of agree. I really do agree. I can't say anything more. You know, I really appreciate Rivian for letting us test drive these two vehicles. If you get a chance, have a look at one. You won't be disappointed. So that's it for today's review. Cynthia, what can people do?
Subscribe, hit the like button.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Ciao.
Ciao.